In the hushed corridors of power, a silent alarm blared, echoing through the empty halls like a ghostly whisper. Invisible fingers danced across keyboards, leaving no trace but a trail of chaos, a symphony of keystrokes that orchestrated digital mayhem. Systems blinked, data vanished, and the guardians of national security were baffled, their screens filled with incomprehensible streams of data. A ghost was in the machine, a digital phantom wreaking havoc from the shadows, an unseen force manipulating the very fabric of the digital world. This was no ordinary cybercriminal. This was a teenager, a prodigy whose skills defied his age. Jonathan James, a name whispered in hushed tones within the hallowed halls of the Pentagon and NASA, was a prodigy of the digital age, a young genius who had mastered the art of hacking. His story is not just a tale of technical brilliance, but a cautionary narrative about the allure of the forbidden and the devastating consequences of unchecked curiosity, a modern-day Icarus who flew too close to the digital sun. He was a pioneer in the world of hacking, a world where the lines between good and evil often blurred, a realm where morality was as fluid as the code he wrote. His actions would send shockwaves through the highest echelons of government, exposing vulnerabilities no one knew existed, shaking the very foundations of digital security. This young man, barely old enough to drive, had infiltrated some of the most secure networks in the world, exposing their vulnerabilities and leaving behind a trail of digital breadcrumbs, a testament to his unparalleled skill. His exploits weren't motivated by malice, but by an insatiable thirst for knowledge, a desire to explore the uncharted territories of the digital landscape, driven by a relentless curiosity. This curiosity, however, would lead him down a path of no return, a journey that would forever alter his life and the world of cybersecurity. The year was 1999, the dawn of the internet age, and the world was still grappling with the implications of this new interconnected reality, a time of both excitement and uncertainty. Jonathan, armed with nothing but a computer and an insatiable curiosity, embarked on a journey that would etch his name into the annals of cybersecurity history, a journey that would make him a legend. His story is a testament to the power of human ingenuity, both for good and for ill, a reminder of the dual-edged sword that technology can be. His actions would forever change the landscape of cybersecurity, leaving an indelible mark on the digital world and serving as a stark warning of the potential dangers that lurk in the shadows of the network. Jonathan James, born in South Dade County, Florida, displayed an early aptitude for computers. From a very young age, he was fascinated by the inner workings of these machines. He devoured technical manuals, dissecting code like a seasoned linguist deciphering an ancient text. Every line of code was a puzzle, a mystery waiting to be solved. His parents, initially supportive of his burgeoning interest, couldn't have foreseen the trajectory of his talent. They watched with a mix of pride and concern as their son delved deeper into the digital world. He was a self-taught prodigy, absorbing knowledge with an almost preternatural ability. His hunger for learning seemed insatiable, and he quickly outpaced any formal education available to him. Jonathan's room became his laboratory, a sanctuary where he honed his skills and explored the boundless frontiers of cyberspace. It was a place where he could experiment freely, without the constraints of the outside world. He was a digital native, fluent in the language of computers, understanding their intricacies with an intuition that baffled even seasoned professionals. His ability to navigate complex systems was nothing short of extraordinary. His curiosity was insatiable, driving him to push the boundaries of what was possible. Late nights and early mornings were spent in front of the screen, exploring new realms of possibility. He was a pioneer, exploring the uncharted territories of the digital frontier. Each new discovery fueled his desire to learn more, to go further than anyone had before. As a teenager, Jonathan's skills surpassed those of many seasoned professionals. His reputation began to grow, and he became known as a digital phantom, a ghost in the machine. He navigated the complex world of networks with ease, uncovering vulnerabilities and exploiting weaknesses with the deftness of a seasoned surgeon. His precision and skill were unmatched. He was a digital ghost, moving silently through the virtual landscape, leaving no trace but a ripple of disruption. His presence was felt but never seen, a shadow in the digital ether. His talent was undeniable, a raw, untamed force that could be used for good or ill. The potential for greatness or destruction lay in his hands. His exploits began small, harmless pranks designed to test his abilities and explore the limits of his newfound power. These early forays were just the beginning. However, as his confidence grew, so did his ambition. He began to see the vast potential of his skills and the impact he could have. He began to set his sights on bigger targets, more challenging puzzles to unravel. The thrill of the chase and the satisfaction of success drove him forward. He was a digital artist, sculpting code and manipulating systems with an almost artistic flair. Each line of code was a brushstroke, each program a masterpiece. The allure of the forbidden grew stronger, beckoning him into the depths of the digital underworld. The darker corners of the internet called to him, promising new challenges and greater rewards. The internet, a vast and largely unregulated territory, offered Jonathan a playground for his burgeoning skills. It was a realm where boundaries were meant to be tested and limits pushed. He saw it not just as a network of computers, but as a complex puzzle waiting to be solved, a challenge to his intellect. Each line of code was a piece of a larger, intricate mosaic. The thrill of the unknown, the allure of the forbidden, drew him deeper into the digital abyss. It was a siren call he couldn't resist, pulling him further into the depths of cyberspace. He was an explorer, charting the unknown territories of cyberspace. Each new discovery was a testament to his growing expertise and daring spirit. The thrill of bypassing security measures, of gaining access to restricted information, became an addiction. It was a rush, a high that no other activity could match. It was a game of cat and mouse, a constant battle of wits against the guardians of the digital realm. Each encounter sharpened his skills and heightened his senses. Each successful intrusion validated his skills, fueling his desire to push the boundaries further. It was a never-ending quest for mastery and recognition. He was a rebel, challenging authority and testing the limits of the system. His actions were a statement, a declaration of his independence and ingenuity. He was driven not by malice, but by an insatiable curiosity, a desire to understand how things worked. This curiosity was a double-edged sword, leading him to both enlightenment and peril. He wanted to see behind the curtain, to unravel the mysteries of the digital world. The more he uncovered, the deeper his fascination grew. He was a seeker of knowledge, driven by an insatiable thirst to understand the inner workings of complex systems. This quest for knowledge was relentless, consuming his every waking moment. This thirst, however, would eventually lead him down a dangerous path. The line between curiosity and obsession began to blur. The challenge of penetrating seemingly impenetrable systems became an obsession. It was no longer just about the thrill, it was about proving something to himself and the world. He saw these systems not as targets, but as puzzles to be solved, tests of his skill and ingenuity. Each barrier he broke through was a testament to his prowess. Each successful breach fueled his desire for more, pushing him further into the digital underground. The deeper he went, the more he realized there was no turning back. He was a master of his craft, constantly honing his skills and pushing the boundaries of what was possible. Yet with each step forward, the stakes grew higher and the risks more perilous. Section 4. Cracking the code. Jonathan's hacking methods were surprisingly simple, relying more on ingenuity and persistence than sophisticated software. He exploited vulnerabilities in poorly secured systems, using readily available tools to gain access to sensitive information. He was a digital locksmith, picking the locks of the digital world with a combination of skill and patience. He understood the weaknesses of these systems, exploiting them with surgical precision. He mastered the art of social engineering, manipulating individuals to divulge passwords and other sensitive information. He was a master of deception, using his charm and wit to gain access to the information he sought. He understood human psychology, exploiting weaknesses in human nature to achieve his goals. He was a digital chameleon, adapting his approach to each situation. He utilized packet sniffers to intercept data flowing through networks, gleaning valuable information like passwords and login credentials. He was a digital eavesdropper, listening in on the conversations of the digital world. He understood the flow of data, intercepting it and deciphering its secrets. He was a digital detective, piecing together clues to solve the puzzles of the digital world. His ability to blend in, to become invisible in the digital landscape, was his greatest strength. He was a ghost in the machine, moving silently through the networks, leaving no trace of his presence. He understood the importance of stealth, operating in the shadows, undetected and unnoticed. He was a digital ninja, mastering the art of invisibility. Section 5. NASA's Nightmare. In 1999, at the age of 15, Jonathan James successfully breached the networks of NASA, gaining access to sensitive data related to the International Space Station. He downloaded software worth an estimated $1.7 million, forcing NASA to shut down its systems for 21 days. This was a wake-up call for the agency, a stark reminder of the vulnerabilities of their systems in the face of a determined and skilled hacker. The intrusion sent shockwaves through the agency, exposing the vulnerability of their seemingly impenetrable systems. Jonathan's actions were a stark reminder that even the most sophisticated security measures could be bypassed by a determined and skilled individual. He had exposed a critical flaw in their defenses, a flaw that could have had catastrophic consequences. The stolen software controlled critical life support functions on the International Space Station, including temperature and humidity control. The potential consequences of Jonathan's actions were enormous, highlighting the real-world impact of cybercrime. He had inadvertently put the lives of astronauts at risk, a sobering reminder of the power he wielded. NASA's response was swift and decisive, shutting down their systems to assess the damage and implement stronger security measures. The incident served as a catalyst for change, forcing the agency to rethink its approach to cybersecurity. Jonathan's actions had inadvertently forced NASA to improve its security, making their systems more resilient to future attacks. Section 6 Pentagon Breach. Following his NASA hack, Jonathan set his sights on an even bigger target, the Pentagon. He infiltrated the Defense Threat Reduction Agency, gaining access to emails and employee passwords. This was a brazen act of defiance, a direct challenge to the most powerful military organization in the world.